universities. Now, viral video of Southeast gunman killing 3 youths sparks concern and outrage in Nigeria. And later on, we'll share this with you. A report says Nigerians paid 2.57 billion naira in ransom for 4,722 kidnapped victims in 1 year, as abductors of Katsina couple demands 600 million naira ransom. Okay, I'm hanging out today with Adewale Adeoye. Wale, I greet you.
Good afternoon, senior citizen.
And gentleman, Chris Kennedy Wandu, CKN. I greet you too.
It's nice to be here. Good afternoon, citizens.
Well, team leader Babajide Kolade Otitoju is missing in action today, but in the course of the show, we'll team up with him electronically. You'll find out. Okay, the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, folks, our first story for today. As chief executive, a governor is the top official and leader of a state's executive branch responsible for implementing state laws and operations. Now, the Kogi State Chief Executive, Usman Ododo, has directed all commissioners and highest-ranking political appointees in each local government area of his state to return to their areas to carry out grassroots mobilization in respect of the ongoing continuous voter registration, CVR. A circular to this effect was issued from the Office of the Secretary to the State Government, SSG, Arike Ayoade. As far as Governor Ododo is concerned, the era of conducting governance from the capital city of Lokoja is over. The new deal is to interact with the grassroots. Government must be accessible and responsive. We believe him, Wale.
I think the decision of the governor is in order.
Yeah.
And I don't think this should be restricted to Kogi State alone.
Okay.
I think it should be widespread, both federal
and
local governments
states, yeah.
and states. You see, the INEC launched voters registration again, to register again, I think from August 18. And Monday to Friday. So people are supposed to go there. People have just attained the age of the voting age.
Yeah, 18
Those
years.
who have lost their PVC. Those who want to transfer their PVC from one place to the other.
And those who want to move from another place to
the, and those who have challenges with maybe their data. So I think it's another opportunity for Nigerians to register, because irrespective of the limitations or assumed limitations of democracy, it is still the best form of government.
Okay.
And the engine of democracy is the people. So the more people participate in democracy, the more robust democratic culture becomes. So if people stay away from voting, it's going to diminish the, the real content of the substance of democracy. And I think that was what has been going on. Okay. In the last election in 2023, we had 93 million registered voters. But if you combine the voters, election day, less than 23 million Nigerians voted. That means we had a deficit of about close to 70 million Nigerians that didn't vote. And what do you talk about when you are talking about democracy, and then the majority of the people are actually taking part in the democratic process? The Kogi state that we are talking about in 2023 had 2 million registered voters. But at the end, they only about 700,000 voted. So 1.3 million people did not vote.
Yeah.
So I think, this is the time for people to go out there, conscientize the people, mobilize them, educate them that this is their civic responsibility to register and vote. I know people are having their disillusion by the system, but the alternative is not to stay away. We need to keep on engaging the system, ensure that we register on a voting day to protect our vote. That's the way I think we can.
After all, respect for the rule of law is one underpinning requirement of a healthy democracy. Chris would say that.
Yeah.
So the Kogi governor is showing the way.
Yes, it's showing the way, and just as I said, it should not only be restricted to Kogi State, but across the nation. By the provision of the Electoral Act, there is an open window for registration of voters. What the Constitution says and what it says is that once you turn 18, you just walk in and get registered. We don't need to wait.
At 18, you can vote and be voted for.
Yes, you can. So you don't need to wait, and that is where I have issue with INEC. That it doesn't have to be a window within so period. It's a continuous exercise. Once you turn 18 as a Nigerian, you just walk into an INEC office and get registered. So that is.
Chris, but a state is a part of a whole.
Yes, it is.
So
it is in the local government area. Local government, in each local government, recognized local government area in Nigeria, 774. There is INEC offices in each local government area. So why I'm saying this is that so that it doesn't give this idea of we have to wait for this period, start mobilizing and the rest of them for which to be able to do that. But going forward, we also have to realize that the fact is that we also have to change our attitude to issue of electionary and the rest of them. We must build confidence. Because it's when you build confidence and people believe in the electoral process, that prompts them. And that is the question you ask. When you talk about over 90 million people registering and only about 23, 24 million coming out to vote. The question we ask yourself, how come that majority of Nigerians don't come out to vote?
On election
day. At the last presidential election, how many people, at the end of it, the president, I don't think the president got more than 10 million votes of Nigerians in a country of over 200 million or 90 million registered voters. So those are the issues. What are the problems? One, some Nigerians believe that probably that their votes don't count. That is one.
So
two,
they are apathetic.
They just are very, very apathetic. The second one is that to also look at it from the point that election violence, there's the possibility that if I get to the polling booth, that I may be attacked, and you understand. Then monetization also has come up in the last few elections that I've seen, where people's votes have been.
Are you afraid of mentioning vote buying?
That's vote buying. You have said it. You have taken it off my mouth. So those are the issues. So apart from the issue of getting people to register, but we also have to deal with the issue of people not coming out to vote. Citizens, we have to be true to ourselves. Apart from being journalists and be on the field on election day, how many of our elites come out to vote? You know what they do on the election day? They just sit down, put on the television, and be there. Then the young boys will look at the nearest field to go and play football. So, but until we be able to inculcate it in ourselves that come and vote, and your vote will count, then all this issue of increasing our...
Wale, this is where this is where the order to commissioners and political appointees comes. They
need to leave their
get them involved.
Comfortable offices in the urban areas and go to rural areas to mobilize people, to educate them, to conscientize them. And the opposition people, I don't know what they are doing. Because this thing should not just be led for government. If we are serious about election, this is time for people in opposition to also go out and mobilize the people, to educate them that, look, you need to go and register. That's the only way your voice, can matter.
All right. I said a while back that BKO would join us electronically. So he is here. Let's team up with him. BKO, I greet you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, citizen.
Yeah, your state is in the news. So all roads will lead to every nook and cranny for political appointees.
Yes. I can see clearly the intention of the governor. He wants as many people as possible to be registered. It is the civic responsibility of the citizen to register to vote and exercise his franchise on election day. It's an unfortunate thing that people register simply for the purpose of collecting the PVC, which they see as an alternative to driver's license, just as a means of identifying themselves. Or if government says whoever does not possess a voter's register will be denied some benefits.
Yeah.
We've seen some state governors that threatened civil servants that if they didn't register, that they will be denied certain benefits here and there. And that triggered many people who were initially unconcerned, unperturbed to go and register. What this governor has done is to ensure that all political appointees go back to their constituencies and mobilize people to come out and get registered.
Yeah. Biko,
The North Central.
Okay.
The North Central is, by the number of registered voters, has far more registered voters than the Northeast. So it is a very critical geopolitical zone. And the governor does not want a situation in which Kogi State would actually not do very well in terms of this continuous registration exercise.
Yeah.
People who have attained the age of 18 have the right to participate in the electoral process. So this action is also one way of generating enlightenment for this very important civic responsibility of Nigerians. So I'm happy. And he also said that they must produce reports on the exercise. How many new voters did they help to register? How many new voters can they account for in their constituencies? So it's not like you are just going there, you have to show that you have done some work in the area of mobilization of people for the exercise. And he also said any political appointee who has a reason to not be in his constituency at this time must seek the approval from the SSG. So this is not a time for them to travel, go to Lagos,
or Dubai,
go and stay in the state capital, as many of the political appointees do. You must be seen to be trying your best to get more and more people to register. There's no point. In fact, I can't understand why Lagos usually has more registered voters than Kano State.
Yeah. Okay.
At the end of the day, Kano trumps Lagos in terms of people who show up on election day to exercise their franchise. This attitude is an unwholesome one, and it has to, the people have to change. Why would you register if you will not go and vote on election day? The PVC is not simply something that you use to collect money in banks and simply identify yourself. You need the PVC to exercise your franchise, to decide who represents you.
Yeah.
The PVC is your power. It's power in your hands to determine who represents you in the National Assembly, to determine who becomes your president, to determine who becomes your governor.
Yeah.
Nigerian voters need to realize that there is power in their hands. And people should not simply say, oh, their votes will not count. If people's votes simply do not count, how come APC lost more than 10 states where it had governors during the last election? Why do people have this negative view that their votes will not count?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, BKO.
More than 10 states where APC had governors. They lost the election. In the whole of Kaduna State, where APC had a sitting governor, President Tinubu won only 2 local governments. And that was the ruling party in the state. So people should stop thinking that, oh, their votes will never count. It is a myth. Go there, exercise your franchise, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you, BKO. Thank you. Yeah, gentlemen, as we take this home now, I think we all remember the seatbelt order. When it came, initially people were apathetic to it, but now it's become a habit.
Yes, it has
The
become
same can apply to this one we are talking about.
Yes, the same can apply. And just as BQ said, civil responsibility is not what anybody should shy away from. Because if you're not part of the system, if you're not part of those that got your politicians elected, then you don't have any right to criticize them when they are not behaving. So, but if you voted for them, you voted for a particular person, then you have the right to be able to stand and say, I voted for you, how come you are not delivering on the promises you made to us?
Okay.
So those are these things. So it's a bragging right, as we say in football.
Okay. Wale, you know, as we sit here, election is ongoing in Rivers State.
Sure.
So, as former late American President Abraham Lincoln said, the ballot is stronger than the bullet.
Of course. If you think your vote does not count, is it by staying away that it will count? It will count. The best thing is for you to be engaged. You know, democracy is work in progress. Even US now do not have a perfect democracy. So we need to keep on improving.
Gentlemen, as we speak here, results in Rivers State are being announced.
Yeah.
I don't think it is out of place to take our cameras there.
Sure.
Okay.
So let's go there if we can. Okay, so let's take you electronically to Rivers State. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's good.
I understand the results are being
Be announced.
Yeah, being announced.
Okay.
Okay, then we will return to that in the course. But then let's.
For Thai local government.
Okay.
He obtained
Let's go to
70,080 votes, 70080 votes, and the vice chair elect for that LGA is Caroline Amawa. Caroline Amawa is the vice chair elect for Thai local government. Both of them belong to the APC. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the declaration of the chairman-elect and the accompanying vice chair.
All right, folks, let's go to our next story. You know, we are still talking politics. The immediate past governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, is many things to many people across the country. The late first German chancellor, I always like to quote him, Otto von Bismarck, he was highly adaptable, making strategic decisions to anticipate consequences. In like manner, El-Rufai, the Harvard and Ahmadu Bello University trained cost engineer like von Bismarck, wants to learn from the mistakes of others. He has declared that he will not, underline that, will not contest for any political office come 2027. According to him, his renewed involvement in politics is only to support credible leadership at both state and federal levels. But may I remind him that politics is a behavioral science.
It is. It is. Well, it's jarring to know and good to know that Nasir El-Rufai, someone who has been in politics at least since about 1999, 200.
Yeah, I recall that he first started out as the FCT minister.
He even started as at BP, where he was the head of the BP, as part of the economic team of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. From there, before he was appointed a minister, then he took it from there. Now, within the polity, he has been rumored, I don't want to agree that he was, to be a member of the SDP. From the SDP, there were issues within ranks of the SDP leadership, who said he wanted to hijack the party and not want to take it to self. From there, we saw the new coalition, ADC. He's also part of the ADC coalition. So I practically don't know where he belongs presently. But even at that, I give it to him. You cannot take away from
we have agreed that politics is a behavioral science.
It is.
It's not exact.
Yes, so it is. But you cannot take away his sagacity, his personality in politics. Apart from being a two-time governor of Kaduna State,
yeah.
We saw also how he was able to muzzle himself and be able to assert himself during the last presidential election, where he threw his weight convincingly towards the current president.
Okay.
He supported him. He was one of those that galvanized the northern governors and the elite to be able to support this the present president. But moving forward, my only problem is the kind of politics that is happening in Kaduna State presently. Nasir El-Rufai and members of the ADC were at an event, I think it was yesterday, where they were at a meeting and we saw the fracas that happened. And he came out. We don't know where it came from because till now the police said we are going to investigate until the police come out with the investigation. But if that is what is happening now, then I have my fears for 2027. And that is why we have to be very, very careful that we don't want at our stage.
We means?
Nigerians,
politicians,
and those involved in politicking, that we have to do everything humanly possible. And that is why I always refer back to somebody like the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. Remember what he said? That is, what did he say now, is not worth the blood of any single Nigerian.
Yeah.
So I think the way we play politics here, it is not the way it is played across the globe, at least in established climes. We have to be able to play politics of ideology. Tell me what you can do. If you say you are in opposition, tell me what you can do better than the current person that is there. And that will give Nigerians opportunity to decide whether what you are bringing to the table is possible or not. But this issue of coming up and trying to make sure that is a do or that, it is only one in the past that we had such that, politics is do or die. It is not do or die, for goodness. It's like football. Somebody must win. Yesterday, my team played,
A cynic said it is not do or die they should be talking about. They should be talking about do and die.
Exactly. So that is also, it shouldn't be do or die. Politics is, once the people say they don't want to, there's nothing you can do about it. Go back and revigorate yourself.
Go back to the drawing board.
And it's not the way we play politics where you say, until I get it, no other person must get it. And I don't think that is right.
Wale, but our man here, Nasir, says, in 2027, I'm not gunning for any appointive office.
What?
It's not a question of whether you trust him or you don't.
Yeah. I think we, first of all, need to admit that Malam El-Rufai is one of the most outstanding political figures in the North.
Okay.
And he's a highly educated person, He attended ABU, came out to a red quantity survey, and came out with first class. After that, he had business, master's in business administration. After that, he decided to go and read law, University of London. And so he's one of the best, technocrats. Sure,
Yeah.
So I think that it's also a force to be reckoned with in the intellectual community in the North. But I think at 65, I'm not sure that we can say categorically that we can write the last chapter of his political history. Even though he wants to give us the impression that he's not going to contest in 2027. Because if you look at his history, he has crossed from different political parties, from PDP to CPC, from CPC back to APC again. And if you also look at his history, when politicians tell you good morning, you have to look at your wristwatch to be very sure it is morning hours. If you look at what is going on now in ADC, what El-Rufai wrote in the past, I never imagined that we will work with certain people that they now find themselves in the same political camp. So if he's telling us not going to contest in 2027, politicians say what they do not believe in, and sometimes they believe in what they do not say.
Of course,
so we can...
Wale, just like CKN we recall, a former governor of New York State
Yeah.
in America, Marco Rubio, I hope I got his, he said politicians will campaign in prose
Yeah.
and govern in, what is the other?
Cons.
Yeah.
Cons.
So the point is that, you see, he's not saying he's not going to be politically active.
Uh-huh.
Being a presidential candidate or contest for election is not the only way you can be politically
That's
active.
it.
In fact, you may not even
Relevant.
contest election, and then you may be
godfather.
the dominant factor in
godfather.
politics. So he has not ruled out being the dominant a dominant factor in subsequent election. Amadou Bello didn't contest any election.
Yeah.
So what he's telling us is just that he may not contest election, but that does not mean that he will not be a major actor in the coming
And
elections.
Ahmadu Bello brings back memories of old Kaduna.
Sure.
Okay. Our man, BKO is standing by. BKO, I greet you one more time. Our man, Nasir El-Rufai, says he's not campaigning, he's not gunning for any political office. You trust him?
Yeah, I have no reason to disbelieve what he said.
Okay.
Sometimes a man has to look back and ask himself pertinent questions. I think that God has been so good to Nasir El-Rufai. He's been DG of BP. He's been Minister of FCT. He's been Governor of Kaduna State, two-term Governor of Kaduna State. People who have been far longer than him in politics cannot point to such achievements.
Okay.
So at this time, he wanted to be in the government of President Tinubu. He wanted to be Minister of Power, but it was not confirmed by the Senate. So he felt betrayed by the president, especially because he felt that if the president wanted him to become minister, he would have convinced the Senate. This is the reason he's fighting the president. Now, some have argued that he wants to become president. But he's now saying, no, I want to concentrate on uprooting the ruling party. As far as it's concerned, if he can uproot the ruling party, then he would feel really fulfilled. So perhaps he believes that focusing on that goal of ensuring that the current president is not re-elected is more important than distracting himself with a presidential ambition. This is how he feels. I have every reason to believe him. Whether he and other opposition elements can achieve their aim is an answer. It's a question that will be resolved in the fullness of time. But if he says he's not going to contest, just give him that benefit of the doubt. But he must first do very well in Kaduna State with his new party before he can expect to make a grand showing for his party at the national level. The nature of politics in Kaduna is really changing. It's not a matter to discuss today, but the nature of politics in Kaduna is changing. And El-Rufai would want to do his best to unseat Governor Ubasani. He would want to do his best to unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So we just need to sit back as journalists and watch events unfold. We'll see whether he can achieve his aim. We'll see whether indeed he will not contest, or he will not come back to say, oh, my people pile pressure on me to contest, and then they will show an interest in the presidential race.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
All right, thank you. Gentlemen, you know, the mark of the man is knowing when to apply the brakes.
Yeah.
So, dear Nasir El-Rufai thinks it is time to apply the brakes.
For now.
But ensure the engine of the car is moving
It's still running.
Yeah, he's only saying he's not going to contest the next election as a presidential candidate, and probably he's not going to the Senate, but then he will be a major opposition figure, at least as of today. But nobody is sure. Maybe before the election, he will cross to another, political party.
Okay, then, let's take on the next story. You know, same-sex or single-sex education environment, such as an all-girls or an all-boys schools, are institutions whose focus will be on providing an education tailored for the learning styles and developmental needs of a particular gender. It is on this premise, therefore, that the federal government has given approval for the establishment of the first all-female university in the country. The institution is the brainchild of the chief imam of the National Mosque, Abuja, Professor Ibrahim Mageri. The proposed university is to be sited at Zaria, Kaduna State, and may operate with an all-female academic staff, also first in Nigeria. The proprietor disclosed that all profits generated from the school shall be channeled into a fund dedicated to supporting orphans. Welcome on board.
Unless we have a good understanding of the philosophy behind this school, we may not understand or appreciate it. But I think this is a very good development. Women are usually disadvantaged, especially in our country. In education, if you go to most universities, the ratio is, the ratio to men to women is very low. Men usually take the best advantages. Even in some societies, when you have children, you want to place emphasis in education in terms of providing education, on the male child. So I think what is going on is quite impressive. And I'm very happy about what he has done, Ibrahim Makari. And one is not surprised. That has always been his stuff, He had attended various schools in Senegal, in Mauritania, and he was former chief imam of Abuja Mosque. So his contribution to education is legendary. And I think what he's doing is in line with global standard. We have actually the first university in the world established in Fez, in Morocco, was established by a woman, in an Arabic world. So, and he's setting up this university in Zaria, which brings back the memory of Queen Amina, who was a woman and also one of the leaders of the 7 Hausa states. So, and we also have the biggest women universities in Saudi Arabia, has about 33,000 students with about 400,000 academic staff. Non-academic staff, about 2,000 plus. So, we have also a very big women university in Bahrain. There's also one in India called Betuna, and also another one in South Korea. So we have so many of them all over the world. So I think what he's doing, bringing this kind of women university to Nigeria for the first time, is quite unique. And I believe a lot of women will seek this opportunity to create a kind of glass ceiling, so that the limit is for them in terms of what they want to achieve. So that limitations in going to UI, you want to attend the ABU or UNN and all that. There is a university now specifically for Nigerian women. So I think it's a very...
do you know, I cannot stop thinking about Queen's College in Lagos. Reagan Memorial.
Sure. Except that this one is a university.
No, I understand. It's still an all-girls CCC at Uyo. What about your state?
We have. We have in my states. But fortunately,
Yeah.
I also had the privilege of attending to secondary school. I went to a mixed
all
secondary
boys?
school. Yes, Igbobi College. And Igbobi College is an all boys
Lagos
school.
Baptist Academy,
Yes,
and all boys then.
Baptist Academy. Still now, we have St. Gregory, we have Methodist boys,
St.
we have
Finbar's.
CMS,
Yeah.
and even in Lagos we have Methodist girls. We've had schools that are basically for female and some for male. We have always
So
looked
at the
it.
tertiary level,
that is where
this will be the first.
This is the first, and one of the, just as you said, this is not the first time across the globe. I remember one of the oldest female university in Nigeria, in the world, was established in 1936, called Wellesley College in the United States. And that school have turned out so many women that have come to play global politics in economics and all. So, an opportunity, and let me shock you, citizen. Women, ladies, and girls, to a large extent, I stand to be corrected, do at times do far better than the men when it comes to education. I'll give a classical example. I'll take my own personal example. When I graduated from Lagos State University in 1990, the best student in my class was a female. The best student in my class was female. About 3 years ago, I went back to read law. And when I graduated, the best student in my class was a female.
Yeah.
I had a first class. So you come to see that women have the capacity when it comes to academic, whether it's because they concentrate more or they have.
But he has not shocked me. He meant to shock me, but let me tell him that the late Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady, said, if you want anything said, ask a man. But if you want anything done, ask a woman.
And that's the fact. So this is a very good opportunity. And in this part of the world, we have always had this tendency that the men are the heir apparent and they deserve all the best. But the women, women is also this thing. So it's a good one.
Do you blame the men? All right. BKO is standing by. BKO, take it or leave it, an all-female university is here.
Yes, it's a very bright idea, especially given the fact that this is going to be situated in northern Nigeria, especially the educationally disadvantaged part of northern Nigeria, the northwest. We need to support any scheme that will ensure that we get more and more women to have access to quality Western education. Because a lot of our women, once, especially in the far north, once they are through with secondary school, they usually do not get the opportunity to further their education. Some are prematurely given away in marriage and all that. So the enrollment of girls in schools dropped drastically in some parts of the north. This has to be addressed. So I am happy that a university exclusively for women is going to happen in our country from the educationally disadvantaged part of northern Nigeria. But what I do not support is the plan to also make the staff exclusively women. I do not understand why anybody will be thinking of doing that. It is very discriminatory to do that. How will women feel, for example, if a school was founded and it was said that women should not come and apply for any job there? I don't think that that is helpful. Yes, let's have schools for women. let's focus more on educating more women, the girl child especially.
Yeah.
But not to say the staff, the academic staff will also exclusively be women. I don't think even in places where they have set up such universities, they told the men that
staff,
they should not apply. They should not come close to such university. I don't think that is helpful. So if they are thinking about that, I will advise them to banish the idea, focus on setting up that university so that we can achieve our aim of giving more and more girls education, because we really need that. I also do not think that at this stage we should be setting up universities. And I agree with ASU, because ASU said even despite the fact the federal government has decided that for the next 10 years, they will not agree for federal government-owned universities to be new federal government-owned universities to be set up. I also think that it should affect private universities. A lot of the private universities that we have are glorified secondary schools. And we really need to improve on the quality of instruction in the universities that we have, not quantity. Quantity is not what will take us to the promised land. It is the quality of those. And look at Nigeria as a whole. How many of our universities can be described as world class? The standard has been falling. We need to address that rather than focusing on setting up more and more universities, whether they are private universities or public universities. We need the proliferation of universities need to stop.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And for the viewer who is interested, the name of the proposed university is Tazkiya
University.
Tazkiah.
Yeah.
Tazkiya.
Yes, I support what Babajide is saying. Because in the Princess Noura bint Abdulrahman University in Saudi Arabia, there are male teachers there. So I don't know why they need to have. But I think it's a real ideological blow to extremist groups who think that women should be condemned into the backyard. They should not go to school. They should not work and all that. So I think it's an ideological victory, especially happening in the north. Against extremist groups that are springing up, saying that women don't have role to play in public life.
Okay, gentlemen, let's make some money. We are going on a commercial break now. We should be back very shortly. Please stay on. Thank you.
In the beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality, transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, Guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize a growing economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
Meet Miriam, entrepreneur and tech influencer, a young lady empowered to run her e-commerce platform.
Hi guys, guess whose package just came in? And guess who made that happen? Super App.
Her online store stays hot because Super App stays ready.
I'll just order more from the Super App.
Join millions of businesses on Super App today and be a part of Africa's digital renaissance. Visit superapp.tdafrica.com to get started. TD Africa, empowering you. Meet Miriam, entrepreneur and tech influencer, a young lady empowered to run her e-commerce platform.
Hi guys, guess whose package just came in? And guess who made that happen? Super App.
Her online store stays hot because Super App stays ready.
I'll just order more from the Super App.
Join millions of businesses on Super App today and be a part of Africa's digital renaissance. Visit superapp.tdafrica.com to get started. TD Africa, empowering you.
All right, folks, welcome back. It is still Journalist Hangout on a Sunday. Our next story. An adequate pay is one that's sufficient compensation for work done. Some Nigerian professors have demanded that their salaries be raised to a minimum of 2.5 million naira every month. Anything less than this is no longer tenable. That's what they are telling us. Now, this development comes on the heels of protests that rocked several campuses across the country, just as members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, decried the federal government's failure to honor a renegotiated 2009 federal government ASU agreement. The salary structures of university lecturers continue to generate heated debates. Professor Remi Ayede says Nigerian professors are grossly underpaid compared to their colleagues in other African countries. Did you see that coming?
I didn't see that coming, but the question we should be asking whether is it necessary or a necessity, and I don't see any problem with that. Citizen.
Yeah.
If we put that in dollar terms, that's just about $1,600 every month.
But I talk about naira.
I'm just telling you.
I mean, I know.
It's just about,
I understand your dalliance with the dollar.
Yes. So, and these are people that have paid their dues. Some of them have been in the system for over 25, close to 30 years. Because before you become a professor, you have to go through the miles. First degree, master's, PhD. PhD, to get a PhD in Nigeria takes an average of about 3-4 years to get a PhD. You become an associate professor, then you become a substantive professor. So, but the question you not ask yourself, the economy of Nigeria, can it be able to absorb such a high amount? In a situation, a country where we have 70,000 naira as minimum wage, it becomes a very, very tall dream. As I said, it is not...
No. That same minimum wage is being paid in a country where a counselor earns so much.
I'm going there.
Please go there.
I'm going there. But that's what I'm saying. Now, when you look at our political office holders, and that is why some of us were kicking against this issue by Rampak, that our political office holders' salary need to be increased and the rest of them. On the average, although they've not come out categorically to state that, but when you look at the monument, the salary and everything that an average senator gets, from what they said, though, they were the one that said, some of them came out to say, an average senator in Nigeria goes home with close to about 21 million naira every month. So the question you ask...
the basic pay.
The basic, that's what I'm saying, the basic pay, I say in total, because you cannot distinguish...
The package.
Yes, a professor, most of the time depends on his salary. The other one is just 500 here and there,
25,000 naira.
That is it. So I don't think that is a tough, because we look at 600, an average of about 550,000 or 650,000 in a month for a professor. That is
given economic reality.
It can be. We can work on it. As we can push for more. Whether we can be able to pay 2.5, and that is why we're having serious brain drain. Citizen, a lot of our professionals, including our professors, are going outside the country. I remember vividly, I used to have a friend who used to be a lecturer at Obafemi Awolowo University. She has to leave. She's a PhD holder. She has to leave. She's presently in UK. And there's a situation where we see so many also have come out to say that if you go to most of the faculties, the lecturers are leaving in droves.
Okay.
So what are we going to do to arrest this drift? And the basic thing is to be able to pay the right salaries.
The thing is this. If the grass is always greener on the other side, why would there be a fence? You know, otherwise, he's telling me and you about a friend of his who has a jackpot, you know, to earn more pay. But can't the situation be arrested here?
It can be arrested.
Can't we take a second long, hard look at the situation?
Yes. Because even if currently there is no culture, but at least there is a precedent that in the past, in the 70s, in the 80s, we had our universities were quite attractive. People came all the way from Ghana to lecture here, from India, from UK. There were lecturers.
And foreign students were here.
From Southern Africa, from India, from Asia, even from England. So we've had that experience before. And I believe that we can do it again. Because there is nothing you can substitute for education. Education is the bedrock of growth, development, either scientific, social, or cultural. So there is no investment in education that will not give you dividends. That is very even difficult for you to quantify. So if we, are paying our professors 2 million naira, I don't think it is too much. Currently, they get about between 500,000 to 600,000. Assistant lecturers get about 150,000 to 171. Then readers, about 400 and something thousand. Lecturer 2, 187,000 naira. So it's not just about even professors alone. The knowledge economy, is poorly remunerated. And that's why you see that when you have a very good lecturer in some of these universities, the next thing is that they move to the health sector. The next thing is that they go to Ghana, they go to Togo. In South Africa, an average professor gets as much as 6 million naira plus, in just South Africa here, that got independence in 1994. So it's like
rand to naira.
Yeah, rand, yes, to naira, So the rand is about 1 million plus, So I think the issue is getting our priority right. Because these professors, they are the ones that impart knowledge that we need to grow our economy, to grow our science, to grow our industry. So there's no investment that is too little, in the academic community. So I think what we need to do is to look at the scale of preference, weigh our options. What are the areas that we can cut waste and then invest in the educational sector? For me, I support their demand. And though it may not be fair to say, okay, we are paying senators and national assembly, because we have to look at the numbers. We have 108 senators and then 360 people in the House of Assembly. Whereas in UI alone, you have about 295 professors. In Kano, all the universities, we have about almost 300 plus professors. So all over the country, we may be talking about thousands, But actually, we cannot rule out the fact that it's also a way to measure about how we value knowledge. If you are paying people in House of Assembly, buy a new car in National Assembly, with all sorts of benefit, 30 million naira every month or more.
A professor
should be able to at least take a half. Exactly. So it's a reasonable comparison,
Okay.
So I think, people are making that demand, they are right, and we need to support them.
All right. What does BKO think? BKO, one more time, we're having to fall back on your intervention here. How do you weigh in?
Yes, thanks. I think that generally the successive governments in Nigeria are provoking academic staff, especially university lecturers. The 2009 renegotiated agreements have not been met. Government set up the Musa Ali Jibrin Committee. Musa Ali Jibrin used to be the executive secretary of the Universities Commission. So he understands the university system tremendously. They told him to head a committee to renegotiate the 2009 agreement. Because let's face it, some of those demands needed to be addressed. Some things have changed. So government then said, okay, let's renegotiate this agreement. Mr. Alain Jibril headed the committee. He came up with his report, but the same government that empaneled the Mr. Alain Jibril committee refused to implement the suggestions. After that, they set up another committee headed by Professor Nimi Briggs. Nimi Briggs tried to address the matter of poor remuneration as it concerns university lecturers. Again, the government refused to implement the recommendations made by Professor Nimi Briggs.
Okay.
The question then is, why are you setting up committees when you knew that you would not honor the recommendations made by them? It's like you simply wasted everybody's time, because ASU got involved. ASU's input was needed, so ASU got involved. NASU, the non-academic staff, also got involved. But at the end of the day, that committee report was not implemented. And the federal government, the current government, promised to release the end academic allowances owed these university lecturers. Up to now, that promise has not been met. Professors are earning just about 500,000 naira a month. They cannot pay their bills. Buses that were bought for students, they see their lecturers struggling to get space inside those buses to be able to go to their various destinations. This amounts to diminishing and ridiculing the stature of these university lecturers. And I think it has reached a point that they just felt, look, if we do not go on strike, this government will never honor its own side of the bargain. Yeah. So 2009 is such a long time. One of the demands that they made, I'm happy, was to stop the proliferation of universities in our country. Yeah. Government is already addressing that, although it has not totally addressed it. At least they've told us now that no new federal universities will be approved for the next 10 years. And we are saying that they should take it even a step further. Infrastructure in universities, especially the first and second generation universities, have literally collapsed.
Yeah.
It was part of the agreement that there will be an infrastructure fund to freshen up infrastructure in universities.
Okay.
Money is not being released to make that possible. So there's a lot of frustration that these lecturers are grappling with. Look at even the matter of IPPIS. Whoever came up to enroll lecturers in IPPS is somebody who clearly did not know what he was doing. Academics, university lecturers are not supposed to be put in a unitary system, in a rigid system, whereby you say, okay, once you get to this age, you cannot work in the university system anymore, or that you cannot do sabbatical, because universities, lecturers move from different parts of the world to be visiting lecturers here and there, to hunt for knowledge and to impart knowledge. It is only in Nigeria that we have a system in which some people came up with IPPIS and decided to enroll university lecturers there. And they cannot, what that meant was that you cannot do, you cannot be visiting lecturer anywhere, because if you do that, you will only earn salary in one place.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Those that have engaged you as a visiting lecturer, they are not in position to pay you a dime, because you are only captured, your name is only captured in one university. So these issues need to be addressed. The welfare of this, we accuse them of going on strike all the time, but their welfare needs to be addressed.
Yeah, we agree. Gentlemen, we are in agreement.
How can a professor be earning 500,000 naira? It makes no sense.
All right. Thank you, BKO. We'll get back to you subsequently. But then let's go on another commercial break. We should be back shortly. Please stay. Thank you.
In the heart of Africa's largest economy, a silent transformation is unfolding. At the center of it all is Conga Group, an ecosystem of innovation, commerce, and capability.
Our goal was simple, yet ambitious: to build robust infrastructure that simply connects our customers and our merchants, offering our customers greater variety while creating wealth and new opportunities for our merchants.
Our energy isn't just tech, it's about national execution every day.
Conga Health, where science meets beauty.
We are the engine behind Conga's nationwide delivery power.
We are redefining commerce in Nigeria, connecting millions of buyers and sellers through a secure, trusted, and scalable marketplace.
Conga Corporates serves the needs of corporates, delivered at the right price, at the right time, with peace of mind.
Conga Pay, a fintech built on integrity for seamless transactions for merchants and everyone.
Conga Radio and TV, connecting brands to their target audience and markets.
With Conga, what can't you do? Conga Group, the e-commerce group you trust.
Meet Miriam, entrepreneur and tech influencer, a young lady empowered to run her e-commerce platform.
Hi guys, guess whose package just came in? And guess who made that happen? Super App.
Her online store stays hot because Super App stays ready.
I'll just order more from the Super App.
Join millions of businesses on Super App today and be a part of Africa's digital renaissance. Visit superapp.tdafrica.com to get started. TD Africa, empowering you. Meet Miriam, entrepreneur and tech influencer, a young lady empowered to run her e-commerce platform.
Hi guys, guess whose package just came in? And guess who made that happen? Super App.
Her online store stays hot because Super App stays ready.
I'll just order more from the Super App.
Join millions of businesses on Super App today and be a part of Africa's digital renaissance. Visit superapp.tdafrica.com to get started. TD Africa, empowering you.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
All right, folks, welcome back. So let's go to our next story. You know, as the name suggests, a community newspaper is one that serves a specific geographic or interest-based community. The Oriwo Sun, for instance, is one of the prominent community newspapers in our country today. It has clocked 40 years in circulation and still counting. Founded 40 years ago, prominent journalist and publisher Chief Monzo Oluwoshago said the Oriwo Sun remains a significant voice for local development and civic engagement. Congratulatory messages from around the country keep pouring in, including one from the president himself, Bola Tinubu. Now, Chief Oluwoshago, may your pen never run dry. Abi?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Thank you.
It's an historic contribution to...
Yeah, I remember the Oriwo Sun as a student.
Yeah.
In Ikorodu.
Sure. It's an historic contribution to journalism in Nigeria. Yeah. If you look at our history spanning years, only few newspapers have been able to survive the wild wind, the economic and political wild wind. This newspaper was established in 1985 at a difficult moment of military rule, when the media was, an outstanding enemy of the state. And for 40 years, this newspaper that started in a 2-bedroom, it started in his father's house, has grown to build his own Oriwo Sun building, house, at Ikorodu. And I think...
so he's counting his blessings.
Yeah, for 40 years, he's been able to make contributions to the social, political, and economic affairs of that community. From 20 pages, it rose to over 100 pages now, all color. So I think to have built this newspaper for this long, and also when you look at the man, the publisher, he has a fascinating history. He attended college, college journalism in London. Okay. He also worked in Concord for about 5 years, and actually worked with Delegiwa. He was a sub-editor in Concord newspaper. After 5 years, he left. So he needed a lot of courage, a lot of determination, a lot of diligence, and a lot of discipline to have left Concord at that time. Concord was the thing, to set up his own...
as we say in broadcasting, print newspaper journalists are not made, they are born.
Sure, they are born. So I think he's a hero, of Nigerian media. During the struggle for June 12, against the military, that newspaper played a very significant role, which Nigerians must never forget. So the publisher is 74 years old now. I can only wish him happy birthday, because that newspaper was set up around the time of his birthday. So it's going to be 40 years now, in September. So I think he has made immense contribution to journalism in Africa.
Yeah, CKN.
Yes, we've always said that it's just like what we're propagating now, community policing.
Yeah.
We also have community newspapers. Everything doesn't have to be national. Okay, every newspaper or media house has its niche. And it has its catchment area, and that is a fact. We also have now that the broadcast industry has been liberalized, we have community radios.
Yeah.
So Chief pioneered. I remember vividly. You are talking 40 years ago. That was when I was in secondary school, and I remember vividly as an Ojota boy. You just come out when I'm going to school at Ojota bus stop. You always see that newspaper. Some other ones try to came up. I remember the Talker or something like that. Remember even National Concord came out.
Community Concord
then and the rest of the bet. For this to have been sustained, it is not as so. We commend the publisher of the.
Okay, we'll soon get to meet and greet him. But then let's fall back on BKO. BKO, are you there? You better believe it. The publisher is here with us. But first, how do you react to Oriwo Sun, 40 years on?
No, when you bear in mind the fact that many newspapers have come and gone, you've got to give tremendous credit to a man who has shown resilience, who has shown inventiveness to trudge on in spite of the very difficult and inclement business environment that publishers have found themselves. It's not easy. After I got to Lagos, I got to know about this paper through one of my reporters who is now dead, Philip Senaba. He was the one who brought the newspaper to me. And as editor of PM News then, we used to pick stuff from Mori Wilson that we will now develop and turn into a much bigger story. You know, because it was not possible for us to have correspondence everywhere. But as a community newspaper, we found Ori Wilson to be of great value. So we used to pick stories from there, expand the story for us to have a greater mileage. So I'm grateful to him for being a true hero of our profession, for setting the right example, the right standard, and the right work ethic for all of us to learn from. So congratulations to him for sustaining this legacy, and congratulations to him on the occasion of his birthday.
Okay then, thank you. You know, joining us for more discussion on this milestone is the publisher of Ori Wilson himself, Chief Monzo Olowo Shago. Olowo Shago, please forgive me. Me, I be your man.
No problem.
Really try.
The proper name is Olowo Shago.
I greet you, sir.
Thank you.
Chief, welcome.
Thank you.
And Chief is also a proud Ikorodu boy. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So, 40 years ago, how did it get to start for you?
Thank you very much. In fact, that's a very good question. In fact, when if I had not traveled to Britain at that time, London in particular, maybe I have not even aware of any community newspaper. When I was in London, I stayed in North London, Hackney. So I found out that at that time, there was a newspaper there called Hackney Gazette. Then before I left home, there was nothing like that. We are only reading national dailies. So after my year at College of Journalism, Free Street, I just told myself that when I get home, I'm going to start a community newspaper. So that was what was on my mind when I graduated. So when I came down to Lagos, I started with the Font Daily Express. Later, I went to the Nationalist during Wazir. That was in 1979. So 1980, I applied to Concord newspaper for sub-editor under the Legiwa. I was given that appointment, and we started. But all through to 1985, I had that thing in my mind that I was going to set up a community newspaper in Nigeria, but I don't know when. So in 1985, the then Chino Adedipe, my editor, got on my nerves. I just said, wow, what am I doing here? Let me go and start my ambition, which is a community newspaper. In fact, I never thought it would last 40 years. So I resigned. I started on my birthday, April 25, and started publishing. You know, in newspaper, anywhere in the world, if you don't have advertisement, there is no newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like pouring your money away. So the first thing that came to my mind was, how do I get advert to start running? Initially, I thought I was going to run the newspaper for 1 year. But fortunately for me, my full page advert there was 500 naira for full page. Unlike today, which is 400,000 naira. 500 naira with the benevolence of late Chief M.K. Abiola, I was in Concord then, before I resigned, and late Dr. Doyin Abiola, the both of them gave me, when I told them that I was going to set up a community paper, they said, community paper for Ikorodu. It was a novel idea to them. Say, no community newspaper. But because I had in mind what I intended to do, I said, let me go and try. Late Chief M.K. Abiola told me that, this my very good reporter is living in Concord. I said, go, Chief, let me go and try. Then I went, I resigned and started. After maybe the dead editor, Adepe, offended me, got on my nerves. Maybe because of that, I just decided to resign. And I started. The full page advert, how do I get advert? All my friends, my family, my dad was very rich, gave me a flat in Ikorodu, which I started, I didn't pay for rent. So with my first publication, at that time, I realized about 10,000 naira.
Big money then?
10,000 naira with 2 staff, an editor and secretary. At that time, there was no computer. So, but the Concord, through the benevolence of Chief M.K. Abiola, said they should give me a very reduced price for publication. For 1,000 copies at that time, I was printing for compographic they were using. I was using 700 naira to start the paper. You see, my first advert, when you remove 10,000, I mean 700 from 10,000, that was a lot of money then. So I started. The next production, I got advert. So this thing is so easy. Marginal productivity, when you remove 700 from, how much was the staff then? My total staff was, I think it's 150 naira at that time. So we started. Then how do I write my report? What came to me was, I cannot afford to employ good journalists. So I decided to use the staff in the Concord for my stories. What they do, they come to Ikorodu every weekend. People like Mike Awoifa, Dingba Igwe, Ezekiel, many of them, there's another one, Awoifa, they will come to Ikorodu in my office. I give them stories, I dictate, and they will come and they write the story. At that time, we are publishing maybe 20 pages or so. Unlike today, we are publishing about 80, 100 pages. You see the gap now. We started 40 later to 20 pages. Later, we got to 40 pages, 60 pages.
Would you say you are counting your blessings now?
Yes. I never thought I would reach 40. But that's why I'm going around all the TV stations, the newspaper houses, to thank God. I've written a book on community journalism report, practical community newspaper reporting, so that the upcoming journalists, that the hint in Nigeria today is community journalism. Everybody is going for national days now. It's easier to manage, especially with the digital now and the computer. It's easy for you. If you can start with 8-page newspaper in your community, in your office, provided you have enough advert. When I started, I think we had about 10 community newspapers in Ikorodu. They thought it was easy. It was not easy because the first time there, and being a journalist, I know what I wanted. So they just believe at that time that before you can write good English, you can speak good English, you can produce a newspaper. But thank God today, with my first site, I'm a local champion in the Ikorodu division now. At
the time, you just talked about late MKO Abiola. My mind goes to this newsprint wahala. How did you solve that?
No, they were giving me free printing. I didn't buy newspaper at that time. So we just with my production, carry it up, go to the compographic room. No, there was no computer at that time. So they just put for me free of charge, pro bono.
Wow.
700 naira for 1,000 copies. Unlike now when we are using millions of naira to produce. But yes, I still break even with the support of the state government.
Yeah, what are your constraints today?
Today, I would say without, like I said, any constraint of any newspaper is advert. With the support of my friends, especially, I'll tell you a story about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay.
He actually supported me when he was governor of Lagos State. How? This place where we are starting, we are with the TVC now.
Yeah.
You have the Atlantic Ocean. Then the commissioner then was Dele Giwa. Dele Alake.
Alake, yeah.
I said to him that the then governor asked me, Monzo, what do you want? He's my friend. He said, what do you want? I said, look, I just want my newspaper to survive. Just give me advert. Then he said, okay, go and see Dele Alake. I went to his office. Dele said, this place, we can write a story on it now. My steward and Suma Adishi at that time, he was a lecturer at NIJ, and he was also a reporter in Concord. We came here, I said, okay, I can write an exposure on the planning of this place. Then the legal said we should continue. We wrote the story, about 8-page story on this place. I gave the bill to Ashwaju. Ashwaju now said, we have to support Monzo now. The man is trying. If I tell you that he approved, that time, when we're talking about, he approved about 4 million naira for me for that single edition. How much did I use to produce? Maybe about 1,000 or 1,002. Can you imagine? So I forever gave it to him. And after that, throughout his government, he has been supporting me. After Tinubu came Fashola again, continue. That's the basis of what I'm saying about the advert.
Okay.
Supported. Then Ambody came. The present governor, Sanwo-Olu, is equally doing his best, even though he's not as big as other past governors. But I believe that one day, I will meet him.
Yeah, but you are big yourself, so you are big yourself. So which?
I'm a small big man. All I'm saying that without government and my good friends and the people of Ikorodu, there will not be Oriwuson, because my other name is hard work.
Wow.
My other work people don't know that even at 4 a.m. my wife will know 4, 5 a.m. I wake up, because the production one is I specialize in newspaper production.
Journalists know they sleep.
Yeah, but I sleep. I use my time to sleep.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that for you to survive, I have staff about maybe if you look at that paper now, it's about 100 pages. It's produced by only maybe about my own staff. We are not up to 7 or 8 staff. When you remove the salary and the amount of advert you get through your collection with the state government, the major patronage today is the state government. And Tinubu himself. Can you imagine that Tinubu, the president, despite being busy on my 40th birthday, he remembered to congratulate me. That is, you see, that is more than money. Someone asking me, the president must have given you money. How much did you? I said, look, integrity is very important. Not even the money. I'm not collecting any money from the president, but I know that he's going to give me. But today, the amount of coverage, the amount of greetings from all over the world, that the president congratulated you, a small community paper like Oriwuson, to me, is an achievement. Maybe I use this opportunity to thank him and the governor of Lagos State, the president one, the PAMSEC, and all of them.
All right, finally, Chief, from us here, what are your plans for Oriwuson in the coming?
I have to tell you, I don't have plan for Oriwuson. No, you see, my children are not interested in journalism. They understand.
And journalists are born. They are born. You don't blame them.
Journalists are born.
They are born. They are not made.
They are not made.
They are born. Me, I'm born to be a journalist, but they are not born to be journalists.
They are not.
So, and look when you look at the history of community newspaper in Nigeria. I mean, the founder how many of them, except people like the Punch and the Guardian or the Boon?
May I mention Sam? Sad Sam,
they are fair because these are big organizations.
Yeah.
Mine is a small community paper with 9 staff. So, and I specialize in production. So when you look at the page planning of my paper, it's even better than many national dailies because that's what I specialize. So, for you to, how many of these people when they die that the paper continue? So I don't, if anybody want to buy the corporate name, yes, but for me to somebody to plan to survive, how much is my money? I don't have money.
I remember, you know, my mind goes to the West African pilot. You know,
I was there. I worked with Super Peter Sofan.
Okay.
I worked with him.
You know, the West African pilot had wahala with the then president, General Obasanjo at the time. And he ran out of print in 1978.
Yes.
But you are still standing. So we thank God for you.
Yes.
And the journalist inside of you. So we wish you well. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
The journalist inside me.
Yeah.
He's still there today. When I go for any assignment now, I don't pick paper and write newspaper. Pen and paper to write. Any assignment I'm covering, I'm just take details. So in fact, I've just visited the Accountant General of Federation last week. I didn't write any report. I went to his office. He's my brother. We talk and talk. He praised for me that for 30 years we are still there. And by the time I got to Lagos, I wrote 8 pages, which is coming out in the next edition about the Accountant General of our own, because he's from my town. So, and he's my brother before he became Accountant General. So all these things, the only thing you gain is power and influence. When you are a community publisher, newspaper publisher, like you have the influence. When you talk, they listen. Especially when you are objective, you are not corrupt. You are focused. You know what you are doing, so they will respect you. So it's not. I don't have a choppy journalist or brand envelope. So myself and the little staff I have, we manage ourselves to produce quality paper. The next edition coming out now is going to be about 100 pages again, colored, born paper.
Chief,
so it's inborn.
Chief, in newspapering, you worry about space. But on TV and radio, we worry about time. We want to thank you for the time, the minutes you have given us, and we wish you well.
Thank you very much. In fact, I want to thank everybody, Oditoloju and all the staff. You have been on this program for a long time to get here, but it's not easy for me to reach everybody. But surprisingly, I was called today to come and say something about community journalists for upcoming journalists. So I want to thank all of you very much. In fact, I want to congratulate the TVC crew for this. I've never been to this kind of a studio in my life. What I see here is that.
Kano, the commercial capital of northern Nigeria, has continued to evolve. Business activity.
Nazareth. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, greetings to Ikorodu.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody for supporting my paper.
Thank you.
I'm very grateful. Oditoloju, I've been trying to reach you many times on phone. I like your program. You are very objective, hardworking. Everywhere in Nigeria, you are there. Everybody, I want to thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you,
okay, that's publisher Oriwu's son, Chief
Manzo.
I greet you, sir.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Now to our next story. You know, a video that spreads rapidly through online media is known as a viral video. One such distasteful viral footage of a gunman shooting dead 3 young men in the southeast of Nigeria has come to light. The attacker is suspected to be a member of the outlawed Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. The utterly disgusting video with voices in Igbo is reported to have taken place in the southeast. Insecurity remains a frontline question in our country. CKN.
It is.
Having to do with your region.
Yeah, my region, my state, and also my constituency, as it were. The incident in question happened somewhere around Okigwe. And Okigwe is one of the major cities or towns in Imo State. And over the years, for some time now, non-state actors have been taking practically the city by the jugular. And what we're having is a lot of insecurity within those houses. And it is quite unfortunate. Talking about the video, is concerning a young man that's called General Yahoo, or whatever they call him. And according to what he said, those boys, we are his boys.
The boys he killed.
The boys he killed are his boys. He said they went out of their way, used their gun or whatever to be able to waylay or take some things from certain individuals and the rest of them. But the question I've always asked myself is that, how come that our security agencies have not been able to deal decisively with some of these boys? Is it that we don't know where they are? Is it not that we cannot be able to trace them? Or is it that we are just allowed to take it? Because you mentioned something about iPod. Personally, I wouldn't want to assign that to iPod because these are criminals. If you look at the
for me, yes, you have named him as a so-called General Yahoo.
As I say, non-state actors.
I agree.
Yes,
but then, do you believe in any such thing as an unnamed, unknown gunmen?
Of course. Of course.
So,
there's nothing, but there's nothing unknown. There's nothing unknown in the gunman. You've seen the video, you've seen the video.
Okay.
This picture is everywhere. And the question I've always asked, and let us try to, there's a difference between people going about genuine agitation and criminals. Nnamdi Kanu, for one, yes, Nnamdi Kanu, for one, who is the leader of IPOD, have come to say that all level of, he does not support this level of criminality on the part, and that the government should, don't forget that there are some people came out one
stay at home.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. He, as the leader of IPOD, have come out to say that should be nothing like stay at home in the southeast. But you see that every Monday, apart from states, some states are a bit liberated now. A state like Enugu State. Enugu State has been able to get it right because in Enugu, most Mondays you see people going about their duties. The question I've always asked, if Enugu State have gotten it right, how come the other states, with the Imo, my own state, Anambra, and Abia, and some other states are also borrowing a leaf from what the governor in Enugu State. So I still believe that the security agencies can be able to need discipline the board. They'll be able to identify some of these people and make sure that they pay for these atrocities. For you to come out and just shoot, irrespective of whatever they must have been whatever they have done. But shooting them like that and killing them is something I cannot understand.
Wale, from what I've heard from my colleague here, it shows we are a long way from home.
Well, what is happening in the southeast is quite disturbing to some of us personally. You know, apart from the killing of these innocent boys, there have been some graphic, horrific developments, you know, in the southeast. I recall that there was a judge, you know, Anameka Boa. Some people came on bike, went to the court premises, took him out while he was presiding the court, and then was killed. There's the former Enugu State High Court judge, Stanley Naji, who was also killed, you know, in May 2021. And I recall a couple who are soldiers who are going to Imo State for burial, for regional wedding. And they were ambushed and they were killed. In fact, the lady was actually raped. I tell you that this does not represent the culture, the civilization, the values of the people of the Southeast.
In a 21st century world.
Yes, it does not. I schooled there. And I recall that we used to enter night bus from here You know, I will drop at Night Mile, Enugu, sometimes around 4 a.m. I'll wait there, going to soccer. And then I'll wait there, you know, just go to anywhere, you know, and while traveling from Lagos to Enugu, people dropping around 12 midnight, 1 a.m., 12 a.m., right in the thick of the forest without any security concern at all. So what is going on here?
We drop the ball somewhere.
Yes, it's a change it's a paradigm shift in the tradition, in the value. And I can assure you a lot of people are not happy, people who are in this area. The unfortunate is that a little dot of stain, oil stain, on an immaculate shirt, you know, disfigures the old dress.
That's it.
It's just a very few people that the security people have failed to checkmate. You know, they are giving the whole region a bad name. But I believe, you know, a lot of good things are still coming out, you know, in the Southeast. So we need to work together. It's not just a problem for the people of the Southeast alone. It's our national problem. Because developments in local communities are also a fallout of, you know, national, social, political, and economic, you know, instability. So I believe that the state governors primarily needs a lot to do, and also the federal government needs to collaborate with them so that we can, you know, get to the root of this problem and then arrest the perpetrators.
As CKN just said, the magic of Governor Peter Mba of Enugu can be replicated.
Sure.
I know that BKO is scandalized by this development. BKO, if you oblige us one more time, are you there?
I am really ashamed that in my country this kind of carnage can happen. There is no reason in the world for non-state actors to hold a people by the jugular, especially Imo and Anambra. These two states constitute the epicenter of the violence going on in the southeast of our country. You hardly hear of such killings in Ebonyi. I'm not saying that those killings don't happen, but they are very, very minimal. And then Enugu has found a way to protect the people. Yes. On Mondays, people out of fear still refuse to go to school, still refuse to go to work, despite the fact that Eze Chukwuemeka and the late Ifeanyi Uba were able to extract a commitment from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that there will no longer be sit-at-home in the Southeast. Initially, what IPOB decided was that sit-at-home should happen only on days when Nnamdi Kanu is being brought to court. But when Eze Chukwuemeka of Enugu Aguleri, Obugad, went to see him in the DSS detention facility, they told him, look, the economy of the Southeast is suffering. People like to open their containers on Monday mornings. That is no longer happening. People are now diverting their cargo to neighboring states, like Akwa Ibom, like Delta. They then said, look, since you love these people so much, you will not want to see them suffer. That was why he said, okay, from now on, no more sit at home. Whether on the day they are bringing me to court or any other day for that matter, no more sit at home. But the criminals who are holding the people of the Southeast to ransom have continued to enforce sit at home. Cultists have hijacked the struggle. They are the ones who are now killing people. How do you line up 3 boys, tied them together, and
pump bullets into them.
You said that they robbed some motorists, they dispossessed them of their phones. You then asked them, were those, I said motorists, passengers, were they Fulanis? And they said no. The next thing, you just opened fire.
Right.
How do people, and to imagine that this kind of nonsense will happen and it will be recorded to be played on social media. The security forces in our country have an obligation to fish out this guy and make an example of him. Nobody can be bigger than the state. And no terrorist can defeat the state. It's not possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether you are Bello Tuji or you are Kachala, one day the state will defeat you. So that message has to be sent out there. This guy has to be fished out so that he does not infect other people with this kind of behavior. Because if he gets away with it, others will rise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And say, okay, let us do the same thing that this fellow who calls himself Yahoo has done. I really feel for our people in the Southeast, and Southeast leaders need to come together and find a way, figure out a way to solve this problem. All problems cannot be solved by the federal government or by the security agencies.
Thank you. Thank you,
Ubasani found a way to stop the insecurity in Briningwari, and I went there. I even moved through the town without a single policeman or soldier.
Yeah, it can be done.
Foot.
It can be done.
Yes, on foot. Yeah. I walked through the city with the chairman of the local government. I filmed myself and I said, now we are here without security, we are moving around the town.
All right, BK.
So it's possible.
Okay, it's possible. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And the whole world, gentlemen, is watching us. Yeah. All right, let's go to our next story. You know, to say that as many as 4,722 people are kidnapped in a calendar year in my country, your country, that is alarming. To imagine that as much as 2.57 billion naira was paid out as ransom is, to say the least, repulsive. Now, according to SBM Intelligence, an African-focused market and intelligence firm, these depressing statistics tend to highlight kidnapping as Nigeria's growing veritable evil enterprise. The startling report adds that 997 incidents, 762 fatalities were recorded. Now, so many states have criminalized kidnapping to the extent of making it a capital offense. Yet, the evil enterprise endures, Wale.
It's a very unfortunate problem, a recurrent decimal of violence, blood, mystery, and sorrow.
Bloodletting, yeah.
Yes. The Nigerians paid 2.5 billion, but actually the demand was 48 billion naira. You can see the level of their expectation, these criminals. And there were, according to the report, about 762 deaths.
Oh, yeah.
When we are not in a war situation. 32 people were killed even after they had paid ransom. In some cases, ransom bearers were also killed.
Okay.
And this
mindless
killings. And this also involved women and children. The leading figure comes from Northwest, which has produced the highest number of presidents of Nigeria, ministers of defense, and the leading states are Zamfara, Katsina, and Kaduna. Katsina alone has produced 2 former presidents of Nigeria, Yar'Adua and then Buhari. So I think we might not be wrong to conclude that we have a kind of asymmetric, low-scale war in Nigeria, looking at the number of people that are the victims of this crime.
In supposed peacetime.
Yeah, peacetime. So it's a huge challenge. And I really want to say that the last 12 years, the 8 years of President Buhari, I think it actually got out of hand. This was at the time you had terrorists going to the airport in Kaduna, about 200 of them on bike, armed. They stormed the airport and shot one official. This was the time that railways were, trains were attacked, people kidnapped, 200 people, 400 people. Even the former president's, traditional law in this community was also kidnapped. So I think it was 8 years of horror. And I have the belief that what is happening in the next 2 years is to deal with the mess. So if you look at this figure, yes, that's my own feeling, at least judging from even what is happening in my own community.
Yeah.
I think during that period of 8 years, traveling from here to Ibadan, you dare not travel in the evening. Something must happen. In my own community, at least once in 2 weeks, there will be kidnapping. That period of 8 years. You remember what happened in Ogun State, where Yewa community...
You think this is a franchise?
I think, for me, I believe it may not be right to say that the APC brought in that, some people into the country and they got out of hand. But at least a section of the party, maybe the CPC faction, because one of them said that they actually brought them ahead of 2015 election. And maybe they felt if you didn't win the election, they would have caused chaos all over the country. Now it was difficult to deal with them. They were already armed. So how would they survive? They had to disperse themselves across the country. At a time in those states, I recall that the former governor Rotimi said, they gave them ultimatum. And the president issued a statement that, look, under the ECOWAS treaty, they had freedom of movement. So I think there was all sorts of things that happened in that period of 8 years that I believe that it was responsible for the kind of situation we're having today.
Yeah.
I believe in the past 2 years, we have made tremendous progress in terms of tackling security. And I hope we can continue with this momentum so that in the next 2 years, we'll be able to deal decisively with the sponsors of terrorism.
I don't know about you. I'm waiting for the next kidnapper that will be brought to book.
Yes, Citizen.
And to also consider that a couple that was kidnapped, talking about the second leg of this story, the kidnappers want 600 million.
Yes, there's a couple. There's a young man, the wife and the child that were kidnapped in Katsina State. Until now, they've not been. But I have to tell you that kidnapping has become a very lucrative business in Nigeria. And that's the fact.
It has taken over from armed robbery.
Armed robbery. Nobody goes on armed robbery. No.
This armed robbery.
You used to be.
In kidnapping, you shoot a lot less bullets, make a lot more money.
Yes. And that is one part of it. It has become a very, very lucrative business. And if you see the number of people the kind of people that go into it, there is even more sophisticated ones. Not just a Fulani bandit, and it's across the country. That is two. Third one is that Citizen, I don't believe in these figures and this data. You know why? The reason being that you come to realize that these are the reported cases. And I'll tell you that for every 1-2 reported cases, there are over 8, 9, 10 unreported. So these are the ones that were captured. So the ones that were not captured are the main issue. So this figure will be
but these than 10 statistics we have are frightening enough.
It is frightening. When you look at about 2.5 billion and a demand of over 47 billion, it is an industry in itself. Now, the issue is that how did we get here? Now, we'll talk about...
By road.
Now, we're talking about law. Let us even look at the laws. Several states have enacted capital punishment.
Including my state, Akwa Ibom.
Including Akwa Ibom. Now, the question you ask yourself, how many people have been prosecuted and dealt with?
Brought to court in the first place.
Yes, it's wanted to bring you to court. Even when they bring you to court, prosecuted on these laws. How many of our governors have signed off when these criminals... And that is the problem we have.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry. billionaire kidnapper Evans.
Yeah.
We have not heard the last.
It's still a and that is why. So until we start, citizen, until we start dealing with behaviors like this decisively, I don't think we can ever get it right.
And I can only second guess BKO's reaction to it. He is even more scandalized. BKO, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've always said that Zamfara is the headquarters of kidnapping in our country. Even when people are kidnapped in Niger State, or kidnapped in Katsina, or kidnapped in Kaduna, they take them all the way to Zamfara, because that is the capital of kidnapping in our country. And you can see the number of people the number of kidnapped victims from Zamfara alone, 1,203 in total, whereas Katsina reported 131. Kaduna recorded 629 victims, while 180 kidnappers and 19 security agents lost their lives. These figures show that even there is improvement in security. The NSA is doing a very good job. I've seen so many cases of people being rescued and being released to their families. But we know that we have to defeat banditry. And as I've said before, it is not one approach that we must use. We must use both the kinetic and non-kinetic approaches. I know for a fact that in some cases, military approach will not work. So you can then look at what can be done by allowing our people to continue to fall victim to these businessmen, because this is what this thing is. They are doing it for the money, and they are making a lot of money, the kind of money that they cannot make elsewhere. You can imagine collecting 120 million from a single kidnapped victim's family, one kidnapped victim. So there is no business that you can do that will give this kind of profits. And that's why they are prepared to die. Despite the fact that they are being bombed by the Air Force, they are not prepared to give up banditry because it is a gold mine for them. But as a country, we must make up our minds that kidnappers will not be tolerated in our country, and that our people have suffered enough. Everyone is now involved. It's no longer, you cannot say, oh, every kidnap case must have been by Fulani. No. These days, from some of the language that some people speak, victims of kidnapping come to tell us clearly that, look, these people that kidnapped us, they were clearly not even Fulanis. So giving the impression that only Fulanis are involved in this thing is wrong. It's now becoming an all-commerce affair. Everyone wants to make money from kidnapping, and they know that it's a lot easier and poses less risk than armed robbery.
Yeah, sorry,
or pickpocketing. So they are taking to it, and it will take a mighty effort for us to defeat banditry, because they have so much money. They bought weapons from the black market, and they are recruiting boys.
Okay, BKO.
Boys.
Sorry, BKO. Sorry, BKO. I must stop you here. Time is tight, but not before thanking you for your intervention. Okay, thank you. Yeah, gentlemen. Adewale Adeoye, I thank you very kindly.
Thank you very much.
No less so, CKN.
Thank you very much for having me.
And the Backroom Boys, led by the producer-director. We thank you very kindly.
Thank you very much.
We must apply the brakes here. But if you missed any part of this show, not to worry, later tonight at 11:30, a repeat broadcast will be on. But we'll resume our normal broadcast of Journalist Hangout from 5 p.m. tomorrow evening. Join us then. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.
Hello, fellow Nigerians. I'm Larry Saunilu, the Director General of the National Orientation Agency. Our relatively short history since independence, remarkable achievements have unfolded. However, we can only acknowledge these successes if we choose to focus on the positive. Remember, you cannot see the light if you keep your eyes closed. Great things are happening to many Nigerians. Our country is a land of opportunities for those who are positive. At the National Orientation Agency, we are committed to highlighting the many uplifting stories under the Renewed Hope agenda. We invite you to listen to the testimonies of fellow Nigerians who are experiencing the positive impact of government initiatives and Nigerian environment. Nigeria is thriving for millions in extraordinary ways, but it requires a mindset of optimism and a heartfelt love for our country to truly appreciate this progress. Join us on this journey of growth. Our cup is half full, not half empty. Embrace positivity and be a proud Nigerian. I am a proud Nigerian.
Since they don't have much computers with them, the needed items we got has been able to really make an impact around even the schools that are neighboring schools here. Added to this, the staff have been encouraged because of their touch with the needed computers to even improve and go more for special training as far as ICT and other soft skill programs for personal development and of course career development.
Kano, the commercial capital of northern Nigeria, has continued to evolve. Business activities and the daily hustle and bustle thrive, with residents flooding the streets in their numbers. But behind the energy of the city lies a growing concern: the menace of hoodlums snatching valuables, especially mobile phones. In recent months, the activities of phone snatchers have been on the rise in the mega city. Many residents have been stopped, attacked, and robbed of their phones in broad daylight. Musa Aliyu, a broadcast journalist in Kano, is one of the many victims. He walks to work every day, but on one fateful evening, he had an encounter that would change his life. He was attacked, stabbed in the hand, and his phone was taken.
Basically, I was coming